No Mohamed Salah, and Liverpool win away at the San Siro. They beat Inter Milan 1-0. Some VAR controversy in that game as well that we will be discussing. Tottenham win 3-0 tonight at home. It's 2 home wins on the bounce. Are we in the fucking twilight zone? I've got this cold, right? I've got this fluey cold thing. Am I dreaming? Do we have the day sweat dreams? I don't know. And Chelsea, 4 games without a victory, leading the match tonight, lose 2-1 to Atalanta away in Italy as well. It has been a terrible 2 weeks for Enzo Maresca and Chelsea fans. I'm just reading some tweets here as I'm speaking. Chelsea supporters are fuming. Neto coming off, fuming that Esteval never got any game time. Maybe he couldn't help tossing coming on. There was another injury to Fofana, injured again. Looks more of a contact injury, but him injured again, dropping down to 11th place. Now, they've got an easy and a hard game remaining, Chelsea, in the Champions League, and they can still qualify in the top 8. They're not going to drop out the playoff area. There's no doubt about that. They're not going to drop below the 24th position, but just not a great run for this Chelsea side at all. Really, really poor run for it. We always know when it's a poor run for Chelsea because Ches in our group chat disappears. I haven't seen Ches for 2 weeks. Only when Man United playing does Ches go in the group chat. Disappears when his team's losing. For such a big geezer, he's a little punk. That's what he is. He's a punk. Same as Don tonight. Don's nowhere. Yeah, if they were winning 3-0, I want to tell about my team. Big up Ches and Don. Viewers, do me a favor, please, before we go any further. Please please make sure you are subscribing. Please get that bell notification button turned on as well. Very important for us indeed. This here says, yes, Liverpool are fragile, but I can't blame Slots for Konate's carelessness where they've been cruising 2-0, total liability. Yeah, listen, I understand that for the FA. Get that bored pussy old Maresca out tonight is what Jaden has got to say. Not happy at all. Enzo Fernandez is a squad level player. Get me Adam Wharton. The player should have killed the game off, had chances to do so. Cucurella was trashed today. Today at fault for both goals. We must improve. And Daniel here says, massive result for Liverpool. Very important to get back to being solid and hard to beat, then work on improving the attack. We've been too soft lately. And I agree with that wholly. My friend. And I wanted to start with Liverpool tonight because that was more like it. Slot. I am probably going to get kicked back when I talk about the formation. By the way, if you haven't liked the video already, get yourself subscribing, get the video hyped up as well if you've got any hypes left. It was 4-3-3. Sometimes it was 4-3-1-2. For me, McAllister sometimes in the front three, sometimes Szoboszlai in the front three, sometimes Joe Gomez in the front three, depending upon the phase. And you know me, I'm not someone that cares too much about the shape. It's more what you do in it. But what I saw from Liverpool tonight, they were far more compact. They were much harder to break down. It made the game a little boring from a neutral point of view, but Liverpool's job isn't to entertain neutrals. It's not even really to entertain Liverpool fans. It's to win football matches. That's the entertainment is the ride, the journey, the ups and downs of the season, the amazing feeling when you win. It's not just about entertaining you in that game. Not every match is about that. And I thought Liverpool set things up perfectly tonight. Absolutely perfectly on every single level. I loved how they did that. Now, they got a little unlucky, in my opinion, because the handball rules become a joke. Van Dijk heads the ball. It hits Ekitike's arm that's in a natural position, which sends the ball into the path of Konate, who scores. Now, I understand why people will say it's not volleyball. You can't use your hand like that. But accidental handball should never be punished. The only time it should be punished is if it directly hits your hand and goes in because you can't score with that part of your body. But I even think if you're closing down a defender and your hands and arms in a natural position, they blast the ball clear and it hits your arm, falls at your feet and you tap it in, it should be a goal. Because you haven't... Handball used to be ball to hand. Hand to ball. Ball to hand was never handball when I grew up. Between FIFA, UEFA, the Premier League, the FA, they have made handball such a complex decision. It never used to be. And I think it may have been disallowed by the letter of the law, although I have read that the law states if it hits a legal part of a player's body first, like a shot, a pass, a header, then accidentally hits a arm in a natural position, it shouldn't be handball. So I don't even know how they've come to that decision. So they should have gone 1-0 up. Outside of that, Liverpool were the best team. Last maybe 20 minutes of the first half, Inter put a lot of pressure on, but they could barely break Liverpool down. There was one chance and one opportunity in that first half. A good cross, and Lautaro Martinez absolutely loses Alisson, gets his head to a ball, and it's an excellent save by the Liverpool number one. And then the second half was very reminiscent of the first 25 minutes of the first. Liverpool were the better team. I don't really care what anybody's got to say. They were the better team. Inter, their team lacks quality tonight. They really, really lacked quality. Very little pace in their team. They couldn't really create any momentum. They weren't creating goal-scoring opportunities. And when you consider that Liverpool have been on such a bad run, Liverpool have had such horrible games, conceded so many goals, I thought they maybe would have a little bit more of the bit between their teeth. But only 4 shots in the entire second half, none on target. Only 0.22 XG. Liverpool dominated them. Now, as I say, it wasn't a game they win 3 or 4-0. It wasn't a match that is going to live long in the memory of Liverpool fans in terms of being a spectacle. But it was a defensive masterclass from Slot. It was a defensive masterclass. He kept these players close together. It was hard to break their lines. They nullified everything that Inter did, and they were the bigger threat. They were the bigger threat. Now, they weren't great in an attacking sense, and what Daniel said earlier, I put his comment back up, is so true. Liverpool have got to find a way of being hard to beat and then work more on the attacking element of their game. I didn't think their attackers were particularly great today. I didn't think there was much creativity from the midfield. I thought Ekitike and Alexander Isak could have done a lot more. I was, though, quite impressed with Kai Wirtz when he comes on. I think he said Kai. Florian Wirtz when he came on. I felt he gave a great amount of movement. And then the penalty situation. And a lot of people are saying that it wasn't a penalty. It was. It was. It does go down theatrically, and sometimes that can cost you. But Bastoni was holding on to his shirt. It wasn't fleeting. And I know that's a Premier League rule, fleeting, but he had on his shirt and he held onto it and he held onto it and then he let it go. It stops Wirtz getting to the ball. Now, Wirtz just is a bad diver. That doesn't mean he wasn't fouled. I absolutely think it was the correct decision. He's holding on to him, wouldn't let him run. Anywhere else on the pitch is a foul. I'm glad VAR gave it because I want to see the law of the game implemented correctly. You could make an argument maybe Wirtz should have got a yellow card for simulation as well. Great, fine. But he was fouled. It's as simple and it's as straightforward as that. He had his shirt. If it had been like this, right? I'll pull my own shirt. If he did this and let go, no. Holding on to his shirt, I'd be a hypocrite. Earlier on this season, Man United got a penalty against Burnley. It wasn't in the same area of the pitch, but the pole was for as long. I would be a hypocrite to now sit here and just try and shit on Liverpool because they're a rival of mine. And I'm not going to do that. It was a penalty. Szoboszlai put it away brilliantly. And Liverpool deserved to win. That's it. Liverpool deserved to win. Defensive masterclass, really hard to break down. And I like the system change up. And I think it was really important tonight for Liverpool to get a victory like that. With the situation with Mo Salah, they really had to win. They've made a big call. The greatest player in their Premier League history, their greatest legend in the Premier League history, their most famous, their most decorated, their best player that's ever played for Liverpool in the Premier League is ousted for him being stupid, for him being unprofessional, and rightfully so. He was dropped from that squad. The board have made the right choice. Slot has made the right choice. But what you needed was Liverpool now to go and have a good performance away and win at a very hard place to win. Beating Inter Milan at the San Siro in the Champions League is a very difficult task. Liverpool had everything sort of against them, the backdrop of all these problems, and they delivered tonight. And I feel that every Liverpool fan should be immensely proud of the players on the pitch. They should be very happy with Slot's approach tonight. Doesn't mean you have to change your mind about Slot. It doesn't mean you have to say, I was wrong for calling for him to be sacked. It's not about having those conversations. We can just do a match reaction. We can just do a fan highlight show and speak about a particular game and keep it within those four walls. And that's what I'm doing. And I thought tonight, Liverpool were excellent. From a defensive standpoint, from a difficulty to break down, and going to one of the hardest places in the world to play football, and they won. And in all truth, they made Inter look average. Absolutely average. Absolutely average. Now, of course, beyond the game, it's about taking this back to the Premier League. Maybe they've found something here, a way of playing in a shape that they're going to spend a bit more time on. What I will say to Slot is I remember you doing very well against Frankfurt, very well against Real Madrid by making changes and then going back to the old way of playing in the next game and getting slapped. That's what he shouldn't do now. You found something that made you hard to beat, hard to break down, kept your lines close together. Stick to it. But overall, I think he deserves a lot of credit tonight. A lot of credit for what Liverpool did. As ever, though, look, I want your views. I want your opinions on that in the comment section below. Please make sure you're liking as well. But Liverpool with a big win. Now, I want to touch on Chelsea for a moment here. Let me just timestamp what I'm doing as well on my screen. Otherwise, I'm going to write that. Also, a few people asking, no, I have got a cold. I got a stinker, actually. But I'm here, just about. I'd rather be doing that than laying on the sofa, just like, murr. I took the dog out for a walk earlier because I've got a big dog and he can't not be walked. That was the most painful experience of my life. The wind was blowing in my face. The rain was hitting me in my face. Dog wanted to play fetch. My body ain't working. And I was like, oh, no. And I was looking at him because he gets like doggy flu jabs when he goes into the kennels. And I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be ill, do you, you little prick? I'm just looking at him like, you little prick. And he's like, but he's my boy. I had to take him out. That killed me. Honestly, one of the worst experiences of my life. I want to cry. I can't believe it's the dog impression on camera. Sorry. Anyway, Chelsea. Let me talk Chelsea. That was dog breath. I'm sorry to say this, Chelsea. You are so much better than you've demonstrated in the last 4 games. All banter aside, Chelsea is so much better than they've demonstrated. So much better. Tonight was... It was awful, naive, and bordering upon disrespectful. Genuinely. Because Chelsea, listen, Atalanta are a good team. I think they got up to 4th. I think they're 4th in the league right now. Champions League. So they're not a bad team. A 3rd, sorry. So they're not a bad team, right? So I'm not sitting here, but Chelsea started the game. Atalanta, loads of energy, loads of counter-attacks, and Chelsea defended really well. They got cut through once, really. Achimpong with a brilliant block. And then Chelsea took over. A wonderful, well-worked goal. Ball knocked out to Reece James. Crossed in, 6-yard box. João Pedro, brilliant poacher's goal. And then I felt Chelsea were very comfortable for the rest of that first half. But then I look at the second half and it started to bother me watching it. Again, as a football fan watching, I'm sitting there and Chelsea started the second half off very slowly, very lethargic, and almost very tired. The equalizing goal. Now, I had this conversation I've had a few conversations with the likes of Don on our shows recently, and I've agreed that defensively they've improved over time. But recently, like Tosin always gets a lot of crap for why they concede. When Tosin's on, watchers concede. When Tosin's on, that's when we've got problems. He ain't good, I agree. But the issue is wider than that tonight. The equalizing goal, there's no pressure upon the player putting the ball into the box, whose name I now forget. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just don't remember who it was. What's his name? Yeah, he got the assist as well, didn't he? Cataliara. Crosses the ball in, no pressure from Cucurella. And then, for me, some will blame Fofana, but he's ahead of the player. Achimpong's nowhere near him. And Scamacca, who hasn't scored in the Champions League, a West Ham flop, free as a bird in the middle. Bang, 1-1. And from that point, I looked at Chelsea and I didn't feel like they would win from then on. They're on in. They brought Garnacho on as the only attacking substitution, which I thought was poor. You've got Esteval on the bench. You've got George on the bench. There's Guillaume on the bench. There's multiple attacking options. I get why Palmer wasn't taken, but it was poor. They let Atalanta run all over them. I thought that in central areas today, I know he was playing more as a 10, but I thought Enzo Fernandez just had an absolute stinker of a football match. An absolute stinker of a football match. I can't understand why you're bringing Neto off your most experienced attacker, because he was an actual threat. He got to the byline on a good couple of occasions, cut the ball back. And João Pedro nearly gets a second. That's the only time they created. He gets taken off. And the winning goal from Keteliara. Reece James is about 3 or 4 foot away, makes no attempt to get across. And the Cucurella just backs off. A good shot with a deflection. I'm not blaming Rob Sanchez. A lot of people are. I could play the shameless game. Although Donnarumma wouldn't have done that. I'm not going to play the games. It goes in, it's 2-1. And it doesn't ruin Chelsea's Champions League season. But to go 4 games without a win is just poor. I thought it was bad substitutions again from Maresca. And the team is just, it seems like 2 seasons running, the second Chelsea fans, and I don't blame Chelsea fans, the second they start talking about we could be in a title race, we could win major trophies, we're on the up and up. And I don't disagree with them. They drop off. Now they play Everton this weekend. They've got to win the game. You can't be going 5 games without a win. Yes, you got Cardiff away after that. You're going to beat Cardiff, there's no doubt. Then you're away at Newcastle. Then you play Aston Villa. It ain't getting any easier. Chelsea have got to step up their intensity in games. Maresca has got to start getting his starting lineups right. Esteval not touching the pitch, crazy to me. At 1-1, go for the win. Taking Neto off, ridiculous. But some of the players also need to take accountability. It's 3 games running that Enzo Fernandez, for me, has been absolute dishwater. Dishwater on every single level. I thought Cucurella, who, listen, has been one of the best left-backs in the world, there's no doubt. Tonight, massively culpable for both goals. Had an absolute stinker and should be criticised for that. You don't throw a baby out with the bathwater, but still. But between the players and the manager, the last 4 games have been a disaster. An absolute disaster. I'd love to get Chelsea fans' views and opinions on that. We are going to be bringing out we got any Chelsea fan questions backstage. Thank God there's a Chelsea fan here to talk to us because I need to speak to him. DR here says, Maresca, so spineless, man. What was the second half? Man played for a draw and put the worst centre-back on form on the pitch. Not enough. Weak. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I look at it and think you've got young Hato on the bench. If you're going to bring someone on, I mean, I get Fofana gets injured, so he's got to come off. But he's bringing Tosin on, a man who's been absolute dog breath. It made no sense, DR. I get the frustration you're feeling, mate. Maresca is a disgrace. 0 wins in 4 with Everton and Newcastle next. I get the call out. I get the frustration, my friend. I would feel exactly the same way as you if I was in your position. I really, really would. Because these games have been winnable. And my worry for Chelsea right now is they're a team that's still full of young'uns, still full of inexperienced players. And it feels like it's come a bit earlier than last year. Let's see how the next few games go. I hope for your sake it doesn't happen. But it feels like you could go on those bad runs again where you're barely winning games. And then where does that leave you? the one good thing with the Champions League, as long as you're in the knockout phase, anything is possible. But equally, if teams fancy it against you, if teams feel you're gettable, if teams feel you're beatable, it does make it a lot harder to win these major trophies. Quack, quack, will delusional Don the Duck show up? I doubt Don or Ches will come on the terrace tonight. I doubt it. I doubt it massively. I doubt it massively. I doubt it. No. Big up, Lias. Hope you're good, bro. Hope you're good. But yeah, crazy. So I lost my train of thought there because I read a text message from Lias. Hope you're well, bro. Elijah, you can join the stream. I put the links in the group chats, bro. The links are there. There. What did I say there for? Like I'm 12 again. Let me put it in the members group chat in case I haven't done it already. There we go. There we go, my old knick-knack paddywhack. Give a dog a bone. Elijah's coming to rant on the phone. Terry, speak on Spurs performance. Actually, never mind. I need to confess. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I had it on, but I didn't have the sound on. They look good though. What I could see, it wasn't the main. I'm very unwell. Watching 2 games is hard enough. 3 would have given me an aneurysm tonight. But I thought Spurs looked really good, and it's 2 home games on the bounce where I've been really impressed with Spurs. Really impressed with Tottenham. Feels like the cutting edge that I thought a Thomas Frank team would have feels it's been back in the last couple of games. And Spurs actually find themselves in a very nice position in the league table as well. I think they move into the top. They're 9th in that area. I don't know what their remaining games are, but considering it's Thomas Frank's first time in Europe, I think he's done well. I know they had that poor period a few weeks back where they were barely winning games. Actually, they lost a lot of games to be fair, but you know, back-to-back home wins, the draw away at Newcastle, you can't complain now. They got Forest away this weekend. Spurs should go into that thinking they can win it. Then they got Liverpool at home, and I think Liverpool still got. I think Spurs are all that's wrong with Liverpool playing them. But to win 2 home games on the bounce is really good for them, and scoring goals. I mean, it should have been more. I mean, Howard Charlton didn't score in the opening minute of the game. I know he's trying to go back across the goalkeeper, and it ended up being a really good save, but he should have scored. But I thought they were excellent tonight. Xavi Simons, of what I could see, because I didn't have the sound on, and I was just sort of watching over at times, he looks like he's just a bit more zip about him, a little bit more energy about him. Confidence plays, confidence is such a drug for football players. But Mohamed Kudus again for me tonight, which is brilliant. I love watching Mohamed Kudus play. I think that I said at the time that he's going to be a fantastic signing for Tottenham, and I think he'll prove it. But I'm happy for Thomas Frank, really. I'm happy for my dad as well, because I like to see Spurs win for my old man. But yeah, I think too many Spurs fans turn on Frank too early. I always felt they should give him some time. Again, I'm not saying that last 2 games are a complete U-turn on the performances. They're going to go onwards and upwards. Many trials and tribulations ahead, but a really important win for them. And they put themselves into a nice position. 2 games left to go. They'll make the knockout phases, whether it's playoffs first or not. Who are their next 2 games in the Champions League? I didn't actually look. They play... Why can't I see? It's ages away then. Dortmund at home, that's a tough game. And then Frankfurt away. So the last 2 games are quite difficult, if I'm going to be on. Well, no, actually, I think they'll beat Frankfurt. Frankfurt not been that good this year. Liverpool slapped them up. I reckon they'll draw against Dortmund and beat Frankfurt. They beat them last year. They beat them in the Europa League, so why not? I think Liverpool Spurs do that. And depending on results, get 4 points in the last 2 games. Outside chance of a top 8 finish, depending on results. So there we go. Fair play. Fair play to them. I love this comment. The Mo Husam derby was meh. It was, to be fair. It was. But let's see what they say when they come on. Well, I'm going to start bringing the panels on now to have their say on the show. Let me just get my earphones on here. Right. Who are we bringing on? Let me just move myself over. Right. Here we go. We got Quest. We got Kate. We got Winter Surfer. We have Ram. We have Ethan, we have Elijah, we have Rack. Welcome back to the show. hang on, what we do? We've got to do it this way around. We've got to put the winners on the top and the losers on the bottom tonight.
Keep us there for December, please, go.
Well, I'm going to come to you first, Andrew. I mean, you took the lead. I thought you were playing quite well, but it just capitulated again. What do you think went wrong tonight for Chelsea?
Turning point is the Reece James miss for me. If we get that, we'll probably see out even if they score again. But that Fofana didn't crack his runner. Scamacca scores the equaliser, and then our heads just drop like that. Substitutions weren't good enough as well. Didn't really change it. But Terry, if you took that after they went 2-0 up, if you took the scoreline off and see the way we played, would you think that we were 2-1 down? Our urgency, the way we were passing.
No. I wouldn't.
We were strolling around the pitch like we were 2-1 up. Like they had to come out and attack us. And that's the problem. You know, I'm not with this young player rubbish now. There's a lot of 24, 25-year-olds in this team. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of experience now. So they need to hold this, and Reska needs to hold it as well. It wasn't good enough. It was a perfect setup today because we've got Pavos next. Do you know what I mean? So it's perfect to get the win today. You've got Pavos next. Then you can go to Napoli and do whatever because it doesn't really affect you going forward. Disappointing. The second goal, I mean, we backed off. I don't know why modern defenders back off. Maybe it's a Van Dijk style of defending with the back off, but most modern defenders are doing this now. Badiashile backed off, Cucurella backed off and deflected shot. I have to see it from a different angle. Whether Sanchez could do much more with that, I don't know. But honestly, yeah, just disappointing. You know, people are going to go on about why didn't he bring Santos, why didn't he bring Esteval on. I don't know if that changes anything, really. Do you know what I mean? In terms of how we played, the way we passed the ball around, the way we're just so tepid and so slow. That's what I mean. That's why I do criticise Maresca sometimes the style of play, that sometimes in these games, there's just not enough urgency in this. You know, it's like the importance of the game doesn't come across to manager or the players sometimes. And it really is frustrating. I just knew when we went 2-1 down, I went, that's it. There's no way we're getting back into it. I know Garnacho had that shot, but that was just relatively it. You know, you're asking Pedro to do a number 9 role. He doesn't want to do a number 9 role. He keeps dropping deep. It's not enough. There's no target man up there whatsoever. But you know, this is why I get annoyed. That's why when people like say to me, "Why aren't you more confident in this Chelsea team? Why don't you ever say they're in a title race?" You know, I can spend 5 million on a house, Terry, but if I got no doors or roof, or they've got a big hole in the roof, it's not a house. I've overspent on it. Do you know what I mean? This is what it is. It's overspent money on players that are not ready yet. And you can't put a rookie coach with rookie players and expect to be in a title race. So all you other fans and other streamers, stop asking Chelsea fans to say we're in a title race when you don't even rate our players to begin with. All right? We don't rate some of these players either. Enzo Fernandez, trash again for the 3rd game in a row. Lucky that he was bought off. Or maybe not, trash is smooth strong, or not very good for the 3rd game in a row, but luckily he was bought off. But even like Caicedo came back today, did nothing, really. Didn't have an impact on the game. I thought Josh Ochimpang was very good, especially the first half, actually stopped the goal going in. But these centre-backs, Terry, don't talk to me about Fofana being like, oh, once we get Fofana back, we'll be good. These centre-backs are, I'm being very kind of average at best, no matter what combination you put them in. Without I'm not even saying Levi Colwill is the best, but there's Levi Colwill at Chelsea, and then the level after that is a lot less. But no excuse really. Terrible performance again after the miss and the equaliser. But you know, December rolls on, doesn't it? So,
I hear. Would you echo that, Quest, from a Chelsea perspective, in terms of it just felt that you weren't. Again, if you didn't know any better, it was like you weren't trying to win.
Do you know what? I don't know if I want to say it felt like we weren't trying to win. It's more of like, I think Andrew's largely had it right. Like, I think to me, this looked like a game where they look tired. They look tired. They look like out of ideas. And I'll agree that this is when the way Maresca plays football is actually really harmful to the team, because everything's about keeping possession. And so because he doesn't want basketball matches, you don't get the opportunity to counter-attack with pace. And even when you do, you have so few opportunities to do that, that if you don't take them, you end up being killed in the long run. So Andrew's right. That Reece James chance was the one that you needed to score to prevent the game being tipped in the balance. So when I saw him miss, I was like, yeah, this game could get long. Me personally, Tosin, I heard you say it, Terry. I know you was like, a lot of people have been saying it. Tosin's going to be the scapegoat. Tosin's going to be the scapegoat. The truth is, he shouldn't have taken Chalobah off in the first place, but I get he was being cautious because he was already on the yellow. Then Fofana goes down. And for me, I'm not going to lie. I want to be sympathetic towards Fofana, but I'm not going to lie. I don't really care you got kicked in the eye, bro. Get up, play on. You got one eye, cool. I've seen people play with one leg. I've seen John Terry throw his whole cranium at someone's boot and have to get stretched off, bro. Like, I've seen man go through wars and go through it. For me, the fact that he's even like, I don't know if I can do it. Nah, bro, all right, just go then. We have you back for 2 weeks. You're gone again. That's not good enough. And then this is the day where I'm going, okay, this is 2 games in a row now where I'm looking at Maresca going, bro, I don't want you sacked. But if you keep on doing these things, you're going to get yourself sacked. You see Tosin warming up. Immediately in my heart, we've lost the game. Because you don't bring that kind of guy on. Yes, he's our most experienced centre-back, but Maresca said it in a press conference, I think just last week. He said, he's our most experienced, but was he good enough? The place was silent. That's the truth. He's not good enough. So then I'm looking at Maresca going, so if you know he's not good enough, why bring him on? Why not slot Josh in at centre-back and bring James into right-back and bring Gusto on in midfield? Or you go the other way, bring Gusto into right-back and let James stay in the middle. I don't understand. Today was just like, I don't understand what you're doing, bro. I actually don't. And I know that there's this whole thing with Garnacho and Gittens, yeah? And you obviously know my stance. I've been saying from the summer, Garnacho was a priority signing. Today all but confirms again what I said is true about Gittens. I hate to say it because he's a young fella, but this guy, bro, he's poor, bro. He's so poor. It's actually not good enough. Like, he takes touches like he's learning to play football. We can't have that, bro. You can't be playing for Dortmund and look worse than Tyreek George. That don't make sense. And that's why it frustrated me more today. Because look, I'm not going to go scorched earth and say Chelsea are rubbish. Oh, we haven't won in 4. Everyone needs to start rethinking how they look at Chelsea. No, I've seen Chelsea performances like this back in the day, even when we had a whole team full of experienced players. Yeah, I've seen us go away to Napoli and lose 4-1 with Juan Mata and David Luiz and all these types of players, Lampard and all of this. It can happen. But for me, it's the way you lose that's most important. If you have João Pedro on the pitch, if you have Garnacho on the pitch, don't keep Gittens. Bring on Esteval. Didn't make sense today, especially when the whole fan base has been calling for Esteval. Why, Maresca, you would even do that? I don't understand. And I do agree with you, Terry. Fernandes was poor again today. Unfortunately, again, I put it down to the guy just must be knackered, bro. And when you're looking forward and you're having to fizz it up to people like Gittens, and I know people love Neto's work rate, but again, my issue has always been inconsistent. If this was Madueke, I would have flogged him with a belt full of metal pieces just to lash him, bro. I would have stuck it on him expeditiously, bro, because it's violating. How can you be good 1 week, next week you're trash? With Neto, that's what gets me, bro. He deserves to be flogged for some of these performances, bro. Like, even the one where he's cut it back. I know I'm going on, but it's just jarring. The one where he's cut it back to João Pedro,
Keep coming,
yeah? Bro, the thing is, when you watch his run, he takes the first touch and knocks it. Do you know what you need to do then as a winger? Just go straight across your man. Because if he clips you, it's a pen. If he doesn't clip you, you've got a free slot in. But instead, he takes another touch with his head down. And because his head's down, taking the second touch into the box, what happens? He passes a P-roller that doesn't manage to make it to João Pedro. But then what happens? He's going to walk off and throw his arms in the air like he's done something. You ain't done nothing, man. It gets me mad. It gets me mad, bro, because I play ball and it's jarring to see these things. But outside of that, it's a frustrating one. We just got to go to Everton this weekend and pick ourselves up. Everybody, and this is what I'm going to say in defense of Chelsea, everybody this season is going to go through a down period. This is ours right now. And I'd much prefer we go through our down period right now in early December than we're doing this 26th, 27th, 28th. Because if we go into January acting like idiots, fools, mugus, we're going to get absolutely worked. And we won't recover from a bad Jan and a bad Feb. So for me, I will take it now so that we survive then. That's it, man. I know Elijah's around here somewhere. I know he's gonna come and do his. You get me? But
he was. I don't know where he's gone.
Balance.
I hear you. We'll come back to you on that most definitely. I'm going to come and speak some Liverpool in a minute. But Kate, Tottenham did well tonight, didn't they? You're on mute, by the way. Somebody had really bad loud background noise, so I muted everybody.
That's it.
There we go.
I know I've seen the chat saying, "Oh, it's only Slavia Prague," and that's fine. We can only beat who we've got in front of us.
It's only Tottenham. Same thing, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah. Shut up. But look, we was really good tonight. Really good. Excellent from Xavi Simons again. He really looks like Frank said that he's been working hard in the gym, and he looks like he's beefed up a little bit. He looks stronger. He looks quicker. Yes, we had 2 penalties and an own goal, but the fact of the matter is we should have scored about 8, but their keeper had an absolute blinder of a night. Romero was excellent. Kudos, like you said, was really good. Odebert was excellent tonight. It felt like quite an easy night, which is not something we're used to at Spurs, but I never felt like we were in trouble. And it was lovely, obviously, the start of the game. We had Sonny come back and say his farewell to the Spurs fans, which was great. And I think that probably lifted the fans and the players. And the only real negative of the night was Van de Ven getting another yellow, so he misses the game against Dortmund. Is it next, or Frankfurt? Dortmund, I think it's next, is it?
Dortmund at home you've got next year.
Yeah, so he misses that game, which was really, stupid. Anyone saying that Spurs were crap never watched the game, because we weren't. So you idiots in chat can just piss right off. Let me have my little bit of glory. We get so much shit on this show as Spurs fans that, we've had a good week. We drew to Newcastle. We beat Brentford comfortably, and we've beaten Slavia Prague comfortably, and I'm happy. It was a good all-round performance from the team.
It was. You should be very happy, and people will always banter, but you just got to take it on the chin. And Ethan, do you echo that in terms of that performance tonight? It's 2 home wins on the bounce as well for Tottenham. Trying to build a bit of confidence in your home games is very important.
Yeah, 100%. No, I really do echo that, especially the Xavi point. When we saw him at the start of the season, that was the real key thing he was lacking. He was decent on the ball in a few key areas, but he got shoved off the ball really easily. So to see him beefed up and really fighting for the ball in midfield, winning tackles, winning the ball back when he loses it, and then driving forward and playing the ball in is really, really good to see. Again, really comfortable win. I think the only disappointing thing for me is that we didn't score from open play. But again, we did have those chances, and the keeper did have a blinder tonight, I'll be honest. Yes, Richarlison has to score after 40 seconds, but again, sometimes it just doesn't go that way. Defensively, yeah, really good again. We limited their chances to a lot of shots outside the box. A couple of chances maybe they should have scored. Maybe they should have taken those, but again, a really comfortable home win, and yeah, we move on to our next game in the Prem, and yeah, really, really good performance.
Yeah, no, it was, and I think, as you say, I think that's the most important thing, is moving on to the next one, trying to grow that little bit of confidence. But as you say, 3 games unbeaten, draw away at Newcastle, 2 home wins, difficult game at the weekend. Go and win that and get some momentum back up inside you, and I think you'll do okay. A lot of people that turned on Frank early, I think a lot of that is PTSD with the previous manager. I'm not surprised to see him and you doing better, because I do think he's a very talented coach who just needed a little bit of time.
100%.
And Terry, you're right. What you said at the start. Sorry, when you said that this. I don't like to say that you're right, especially after the dig earlier, but this is the sort of performances we were expecting from Frank. But Frank did say that he kind of feels like they've got the pragmatic side down now. He wants to work on going forward, and I think you really saw that in the last 2 games. Yes, I admit Brentford weren't great, and neither were the side tonight. But to see us pushing forward, it was really. I actually really enjoyed the game, and I really enjoyed the Brentford game because it wasn't boring, and I think we're starting to see what Frank can do with the team. So it's exciting. It's I'm not getting carried away, but it's nice to be sitting watching good football and winning games.
Yeah, I can't relate, but I'm happy for you. Happy for you. Ram. A massive win for Liverpool tonight, and you scored in Inter Milan in their back garden and made them look shit. How did you feel?
I'm happy. I'm happy we won. I think a lot of the commotion this past couple of days, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things, saying that they want the team to lose so that the manager's gone. Look, at the end of the day, I want my team to win every single game that is possible to them. And like you said, Terry, whether we score them is a different story, but we made Inter look like absolute dog water. Hi, Mo. I can see you right there. I can see you. Yeah. The whole week, Mo was telling me, Inter Milan, the San Siro, the Cauldron, one of the hostile atmospheres in Europe.
Cauldron.
Top of it, top of Serie A when I last spoke to him. And then all of a sudden, he's here being like, you know what? I sent him a message being, yo, Mo, your team is ass. He's like, yeah, we stank. Where is this chest now, Mo? Where is it now? Because you're telling me about Lautaro Martinez. You're telling me about Hakan Çalhanoğlu. You're telling me about this great Inter team under Christian Kivu, this newly reformed Inter team with attacking flair, scoring goals for fun. Where was this? Where was it? You said you're going to pipe us.
I didn't expect Liverpool to play low block as well at the San Siro.
Pipe us at the San in your own gaff.
Okay, are you going to let me talk?
I will let you talk
Number
in 5
one,
minutes, bro. I'll let you talk in 5 minutes. I'll let the winners talk first, and then you can talk, please.
Slot in.
Oh.
I'm here for a slot.
I
want you to say.
This is the Football Terrace.
I want you to say on
have some shame and decorum. Have some shame and decorum, please. Have some shame and decorum.
Thank you.
Trust your manager.
Have some shame and decorum.
Trust your manager. Your manager. Slot in. Trust your manager. He scores the Inter.
We're not talking about the manager. I want to talk about some players, bro.
No. Your words. None of your players were good today. None. Everyone was
I think Szoboszlai was good today. Well, he's always good.
Everyone was dog shit. Both teams were dog shit.
Welcome round to your Conor Gallagher.
Are you serious?
Here we go. The
only player
everyone was dog shit.
Prime Maldini today is Konate.
And Alisson as well. Yeah. Let's not. You sound so bitter.
Sorry, let Mo finish.
For fuck's sake. I'm not. I'm actually, my head is up because we lost to this dog shit team because we were dog shit, not because you were good. Liverpool were shit and we were shitter. But Arne Slot spoke about principles. Is your principles now playing a low block for like in the first half? Is that your team?
Did we play a low block?
In the first half?
We did not play a low block. I've seen us play low blocks. I've seen us play low blocks. That was not a low block.
You were parking the bus in your 18.
Oh my God. You're so shame. You have so much shame. I swear to God.
You're crazy.
A low block.
In the first half, 100%.
No way. A mid block, but not a low block. Not a low block.
By the way, a low block. Hold on. I'm gonna prove it to you. A low block to the point that Virgil van Dijk had to play handball inside the 18. That is called the low block. I mean, when our center back is
handball. Oh, this is. Ridiculous.
Are you okay? I want you to tell the people here what you told me in the group about the penalty.
Yeah, the game's gone.
I'm waiting.
Game's gone. Game's gone.
Admit now.
Look, Terry, I have a lot of respect for you. I have a lot of respect for you as a person, as a content creator, as a football fan. But I strongly disagree with you. That is not a penalty. In God's name, that is not a penalty. That is not a penalty.
Because if that is a penalty,
there's not enough there's not enough vim in there, you know.
Exactly.
Like Bastoni didn't really grab him with listen.
It was like this. Not
like the point is he potentially stopped him challenging for the ball in the penalty area.
No way, man.
Whether whether it's soft or not, he potentially impeded Wirtz from winning the ball, or at least challenging from the ball in a penalty area.
Based on the law,
If you do that, at the very least, if you do that, you run the risk of giving a penalty.
Great.
You run the risk.
Both teams were doing it, though. Both teams were doing it. Both. Bastoni didn't do it the first time. We also did it. Konate did the same thing.
Okay, fine. Yeah, okay. But just because everybody does, but Ram doesn't make a difference. Everybody's doing it doesn't make it right or wrong. Ultimately, if you do it, you run the risk of giving a penalty. If you didn't want to give a penalty, you shouldn't have done it. If you didn't want to do it, you shouldn't have done it.
Consistency. Rack. If that was a penalty, based on the law,
we also know
based on the law.
Guys, one at a time, please. One at a time.
Rack. Based on the law, okay. Van Dijk, his hand is outside of his body, and he handled it. I didn't think it's a penalty. I didn't think it's a penalty, right? Because it's a natural position. However, in UEFA, a hand outside of the body preventing the ball from going in the frame, it's a penalty. They didn't give it, right? There are pictures. His hand was outside his body. It's not even next to him. It's outside his body. His hand's like this, right? So it's a penalty. But I accept it. Fine. But you cannot tell me that a push, you're diving forward. Tell me, how is that a penalty? You're diving. Bro, nobody from Liverpool asked even for a penalty, and everyone knew it's not a penalty. No one knew it.
Wirtz did.
Wirtz even got up and started running, broski. Anyway, but I don't think that's the biggest thing. I don't think that's the biggest thing about the game.
Sure.
The biggest thing
but you agree that if you make a challenge like that, you run the risk of giving a penalty.
100%.
Exactly. So if you didn't want to do that, you shouldn't have done it.
100%. You shouldn't have done it.
Then you put yourself in a situation where referees who are inconsistent, who we agree are inconsistent, have a decision to make. If you do that,
I'm going to tell you. The problem is, I said it.
Win some, you lose some.
Dutch and German referees are arrogant pricks. Always. They want to run the game.
Why are we talking about nationality? What's nationality got to do with anything?
I'm going to tell you.
What?
Happen all the time.
And which ones are the humble ones? Which ones are the humble ones? No, which ones are the humble ones?
What about Belgian referees?
Which ones are the humble referees?
English
referees.
English referees. Every referees in the world. Spanish referees are weak. That's why they give Barcelona and Real Madrid calls. English referees are inconsistent. Dutch referee, we remember the PSG versus Barcelona game. It's another German referee that was involved in a scandal. But I'm not saying it's a scandal. It's inconsistencies. They think they are right all the time. They think they are right. Nobody in the stadium, not even Liverpool fans, thought that this is the penalty. They want to decide the game for themselves. Bro, don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. Staffy, don't do this shit. You all know, don't do that shit.
It's nationality, so it would be xenophobia, if anything. Do you know what I mean? So,
you want to call it xenophobic, not racist. Anyway, my take from this game is both teams are shit. However, Liverpool, right, this game played nothing special. Arne Slot talk about principles, right? What is your principle? What is your press from the first half? Why are you sitting back? I know why. He wanted so hard to protect his job by getting a result one way or the other. He didn't want to lose. He wanted to prove to the world that Salah is the problem. He didn't stick to his plan because Arne Slot.
No,
please let him finish. Let him finish.
He talks about press. He talks about I play on the front line all the time. He talks about I will never remove my principles. Right? He always spoke about this. When people asked him why don't you change, he said my principles. I saw Isak and Ekitike in your half playing next to your midfield. Okay, I saw that in the first half for about 35 minutes. Where are your principles? I know why. He wanted to protect his job by getting a result. If this game ends a 0-0, it gives him another day in the job. It ended 1-0, so he's going to stay in the job. But is that how Liverpool want to play football? Using a £200 million strikers? I don't think so. We are dog shit. We have an inexperienced manager. We were dog shit. I was fooled. Again, it's the level between Serie A and playing in Europe. Right? We are the best in Serie A. That is different. That is a different level. Lautaro Martinez again today is scared of Konate and Van Dijk. Again, he's scared. The guy sees Konate and Van Dijk, he shits his bed. Right? Thuram doesn't want to play. The players hold accountability. These players that entered today showed weak mentality like they showed against PSG. It's weak mentality. The senior ones. Bastoni, Barella, Lautaro, Thuram, the senior ones. So I'm going to hold my team to that standard. We were dog shit. We lost at home. We deserve the cooking. We were dog shit. Liverpool were there for the taking. Your players were not even. McAllister couldn't pass the ball. Ball control from Robertson is not there. Your players are not good. And my team fumbled, right? But for you to say that your team walked Inter in the San Siro, you won by a dodgy penalty.
Yeah, I don't think. Look, I don't think the statement Ram is just excited because you want to cook more. But the truth of the matter is, I think the performance-wise, we weren't that impressive. Like, I think the penalty is a little bit soft. I do agree with Ram on that. I think it's a soft penalty. Like, I don't think Bastoni like pulled him down or anything. I think it was too soft to give in a moment like that. But we got it, and I take it. I think the problem for me is, first of all, I want to give credit to Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai. I thought those two players were incredible. So those two players, I think, performed really well. Curtis Jones was saucing out there on the football pitch, so
very good.
He deserves so much credit for his performance today. He was incredible. Szoboszlai, he's literally like our best player this season. Player of the season, Dominik Szoboszlai, and he's again today. He was great. The thing for me that just irritates me about slot ball is two things. First of all, Bisek just runs through the entirety of our midfield, shoots a shot, and it's deflected into a corner. And you're just sat there going like, guys, can one of you guys tackle him, please? Like, it would be really nice if someone could tackle a fucking opposition player. It would be incredible. If we could just see a tackle, like, maybe Curtis or Maka or Graham, like someone tackle the defender just running through our team. And the second thing is, like, Gomez is isolated, and so is Isak. Like, we speak about, oh my God, Isak is a 120 million pound player and he's shit. And we're not platforming him to succeed. Today, once again, he's got to drop to the left-hand side to collect the ball or drop deep to collect the ball. Ekitike is good at this. Like, this is Ekitike's forte. That's why he looks better. He's more of a false nine type player. You watch the goals that Isak scored for Newcastle, and to be honest with you, like, it's so much better than what we're seeing right now. And I think Isak needs a winger. Isak needs width. Today, I think even like in the maybe 50th minute, 60th minute, if we brought on like Rio to play the right-hand side at least, take off McAllister, keep three midfielders on the pitch. Rio's young. He's a kid. He's going to track back anyway. You bring on Rio on the right-hand side, at least he would have dribbled past a couple of players, created the chance, created a moment for us, done something, which I think we lack so much. Is this how Liverpool should play going forward? Absolutely the fuck not. Because there is such a lack of creativity in this side. The XG we have 0.5 XG from open play. Most of that is the shot from far from Gravenberg and the other shot from far from Curtis Jones. Guys, what are we doing here? And then we go 1-0 up.
Most of it would have been Bradley's shot. The shots from distance.
Yeah, and Bradley's shot. Yeah, I just said
maybe 4%, 5%.
After we're 1-0 up. So for me, look, defensively we're good, but going forward, like, I don't think, basically what I'm saying to Rax and Ram and the Liverpool fans is, I don't think this will work in the Premier League. This is the problem. Like, this is the thing where I've got to be objective and honest about. Like, you've got to provide more going forward, because Joe Gomez was so isolated down the right-hand side, and he's not a natural right back. We all know this. Like, he's center back at nature. So he was so isolated, and you're almost expecting Joe Gomez to get past like three players and put in a cross or something. And it's just like, Szoboszlai is the right winger on paper, but he's an inverted right winger. So that right-hand side is empty the whole game. So it's just, that's the thing that's...
Sam, this is where I have a lot of criticism for most teams. This is where I have a lot of criticism for most teams. Because I like you, I say Curtis Jones was very good. I think Szoboszlai was very good. I think Wirtz, when he came on, was good. I think our defense was relatively untroubled. But the issue is most team was dog water. Like, he talks about Barella, Thuram, Martinez. They were useless today. All three of them were useless. None of their players were any good. Probably even Sommer, but he didn't really have much to do. That's where the difference is. It's because Mo was saying a lot about Inter the last couple of days. He even told me on his stream, we're going to smash it at the San Siro.
The thing is, I do get where you guys are coming from. It's your team. You want them to play a certain way. You've been, for the better part of 8 years, one of the best footballing teams, one of the most exciting teams to watch. But that's broken. And you've all sat here for, I don't know how many games this season, at least 15 of them, and moaned about how one ball is all it takes. Da 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 da. You were the one singing the song, and it's been broken. Certain players' legs have gone. Salah not there tonight because of his ridiculous outbursts, and rightfully not there. You've been too easy to beat, and your manager changed something up tonight. Went into, it was 4-3-3, sometimes 4-3-1-2. I thought you made it very hard for them to pass through you. You reduced, yes, you didn't have a great deal of XG from open play yourselves. You reduced them to 0.22 XG in totality at home and 4 shots. And I agree with you that you don't want to play like this forever and a day. I don't disagree. But I think if you look at the context of where you've been this season, how easy it's been for teams to score goals against you and beat you so far this campaign, I think you schooled them on their own ground. You played Italian football at the heart of Italian football. You got a very important win on the night as well. And listen, I'm not going in on Mo Salah here. It was a night where the team had to win. Slot had to win, because you know if you guys had got beat 2 or 3-0 tonight, everything about the Mo Salah situation gets dredged up again. So I think you guys did a brilliant job tonight. Do I think you should be sitting there going, "Oh, I want to play this way forever in every single game"? No. But actually,
no, it doesn't, because the main problem is still there. Whatever the most situation is, Arne Slot today proved that like there is a problem here, because the players that we had out there on the football pitch going forward, we should be creating so much more than we did, which is going to be a massive problem moving forward.
It should be.
I'm not going to sit here and wait for us to create nothing.
You're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous, because maybe you don't want to praise the manager that you've been saying should get sacked. You're talking about a team in Inter Milan who now, after this game, because you scored from a penalty, have played 620 minutes without conceding from open play in the Champions League. So you're not going up against Slavia Prague or
and
Atalanta.
We have Isak, XPK, Florian Wirtz, Dominik Szoboszlai,
and they've played good teams as well. At the end of the day, you're going to a ground where they barely concede goals from open play, and you're a team whose confidence has been shattered.
And they didn't score from open play. So what is your point? You didn't score.
Yeah. So what's your point?
Because it's fucking hard.
They didn't score from open play. They didn't score from open play. What's your point?
Well, the point's exactly that. You've gone to a place that's very hard to score from open play.
They didn't score from open play.
And you're going, hang on, let me finish, don't interject. So they did score from open play because it's fucking hard to score from open play there. But the reason why I say you shouldn't be getting mad, you've been a team that's been piss easy to play through for 4 months. You change that. You've got to go back to being hard to beat first and then start working on the attacking play again, because you're getting ripped open. And it's going to take a little bit of time for that to be done. The idea that you were going to go away to Inter Milan tonight and be scintillating and defensively and put on a defensive masterclass is fucking ridiculous. No one's saying you should be having a party, but I think there's a few people here that don't want to give Slot any praise.
Also, Inter didn't play any tough teams. I just checked. The only tough team they played is Atletico. They played Slavia Prague and Kairat and another USG. So they didn't play tough teams. So this is a false narrative.
Go back to last year as well. They barely concede at home in the Champions League 2 years running, especially in the group stages. You know that. Let's stop being disingenuous here.
I'm not being disingenuous at all. I spoke about our open play creativity, which I think is an issue because of our right-hand side being isolated. And in other games, we've had our left-hand side be isolated because Joe Gomez is playing right back and Szoboszlai is playing right wing. Szoboszlai then inverts into the midfield and Joe Gomez has the right-hand side, all of it to himself. So he is not a creative outlet for us, which causes the creative issues. With Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike out there, I want us to create chances for our strikers because I want Isak to perform, because I need Isak's goals. And when you watch the goals that he scored for Newcastle, you need width for Alexander Isak, which is why I gave the example of bringing on Rio Gomoa. Like, there are people who disagree with me, disagree with my total, idea. But in the chat, they're agreeing with me because they're understanding what I'm saying. I'm talking about open play creativity. With Isak, Ekitike, and Wirtz and these players out there, you can't have half XG, which most of it is from one moment, from open play. So that's the problem that I have. And we have to work on being defensive. Like last season, we were defensively solid and we created chances and we had creativity. Yes. So that's what we have to work on.
Right. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you're removing...
a penalty like this will never get in the Prem, by the way. We'll never get the penalty.
It's irrelevant. You're talking about the fact that you've gone to a very...
with a penalty.
No, again, you're doing too much here. You know what your club has become. I sat there and watched your watch-alongs. This is so sad. What's happened to my team? I saw how low you got. You've gone away to one of the hardest places in Europe to go away to. You've kept a clean sheet. You were very hard to break down, which has been your biggest problem this season. Your biggest problem has been how much you've conceded goals. And you found a little bit of a solution for that tonight. Nobody disagrees that you haven't got to become better creatively and then find a balance between the two elements.
So that's my only point.
No one disagrees with that.
One of the reasons why. One of the reasons why.
Nothing about us being solid defensively, I disagree with, though. So what are you arguing here?
Well, Sam, one of the things we spoke about. Well, Sam, one of the things we spoke about on your channel, right, is the fact that this team right now is so low on confidence, right? A result like this, especially when you're up against it, and especially with all the shit that's been going on over the last week or so, especially, or last few days, this gives us some confidence. It gives us something to build upon. You need some kind of foundation. When everyone else is against you, and we know that people are laughing at us, and we know, and rightfully so, because when you spend the money that we have, you're there to be shot at. This is a result that we can take forward and say, you know what? This result, this season, we've beaten the best team in Italy. We've beaten the best team, two best teams, or two of the three best teams in Spain. And we've beaten the best team in England. So it shows that we are capable. If we're switched on and we raise our game, we can beat any team in the world. The problem is that half the time we don't do that. Maybe this is the time, and I hope it is, and only time will tell whether it is or whether it's another false dawn. But we need something to build upon, and I hope this is it. But with the whole Mo situation, I hope to some degree, look, well, we're not going to win the league. We spoke about it. The league is gone. But if we play to our potential, we can, and I say we can beat any team in the world, we have a chance at the Champions League. And I hope that's something Mo would want to be. I know, but we don't. With all due respect, we know that. The point is, I hope Mo looks at that and thinks, you know what? If this is my last hurrah, let's give it until the end of the season. Let's do our best and let's see what we can do. Maybe we can do something special.
Yeah. No, I listen. I agree with you, Rag. I understand where Husam's coming from in terms of wants more in the attack. But this is a team in the previous 6 games that conceded 14 goals. And in each of those, even barring West Ham, every team that they were going to score against you, I'd just be happy that the leaky tap has stopped. At least the dripping ain't going to keep you up all night. And then build from there. I agree with Rack 110%. I think Liverpool fans should be very happy with that win tonight away from home. Very happy. Slot deserves all the credit because your greatest player in the history of the Premier League has made the situation 10 times worse this week with his ridiculous comment. He's been rightfully kicked out the squad, and you guys should be over the moon with the backdrop of that scenario. It should be every single Liverpool. It should be every single Liverpool fan fully behind Slot and the boys tonight. Win, lose, no matter how you played, well done, lads. What a hard thing to do, because the world and his dog was waiting for you to foul tonight. You should be, Slot should be on the tips of all your tongues tonight and thanking him and praising him for getting it right. He really, really should tonight. You should all be doing that.
That's mental for a performance like that. You're doing too much. Right now. You're just raging.
At the end of the day, I'm happy with the result. The fact that like I said at the start, this media circus that's been happening the last couple of days.
How do you guys feel Slot's Sam? How do you feel Slot's handled the backlash from Salah throwing him under the bus? Do you think he's handled it well, your manager?
Salah,
are you proud of how
he's led the club or thrown him under the bus?
No. But Salah has obviously gone out.
Not this man managed the squad in a terrible way. And
how do you? Okay,
my question is the reason why we're in this position to begin with. So
my question is, Mo, how do you feel your manager has handled the disgraceful outburst from Mo this week? How do you feel your manager has handled the situation this week?
A disgraceful outburst, though. So your base foundation of your question, I disagree with.
Okay, I'll rephrase it. So you back what Mo did then?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, how do you feel your manager has handled the fallout from that?
I mean, first of all, like, what exactly are you asking about here?
How do you feel your manager has handled the? Because, for instance, you were on shows with me when Sancho called out Ten Hag, and then Ten Hag also bit back, and you condemn both going at it publicly. Do you think the way Slot's handled this has been much more professional, and how you'd like a Liverpool manager to conduct themselves?
I mean, yeah, but Mo did say that he tried to communicate and got nothing back. So I can't believe part of what he said and then ignore the other part of what he said.
Okay, but in terms of what you've actually seen and witnessed yourself, are you happy with the way Slot has handled and conducted himself this week in the press conferences?
Yeah. I'm not calling out Slot for any comments he said publicly. I haven't said that once throughout this whole conversation. I haven't said that. I'm just talking about our offensive performance, and you're really triggered for no reason.
No, I'm not going to ask you the question again because you eventually just gave an answer, and we can move on. You're happy with how Slot handled it?
Yeah. I never denied that once.
But it just took you 5 times.
And I'm happy with the win, and I'm happy with the 3 points. I just said that I think the penalty was soft, and we need to do better creatively because it won't work in the Prem. If that's a crazy thing to say, then that's on you.
There we go. Let's do some of these super chats here. But Sam wanted Liverpool to lose so that he can push his boyfriend's agenda. All right, mate, chill out a little bit on that. Inter robbed. Viet started falling after Bastoni released the shirt. Nice defense from Liverpool against watch Inter become prime Barca against Arsenal next week.
Well, Mark, you know this itch, bro. You know this itch. Just do that. You know how it is. Bro.
If you defend as well as Liverpool did tonight, they won't be able to open you up. Because one thing I've said Inter last year and Inter this year, there's no fucking pace in that team. They're so slow. It's ridiculous. So if you're compact and you don't leave space for them to run into, they're not that. They are hard to stop, but you've got to be disciplined. It's a disciplined approach in that relation. In relation to that,
Arsenal was slap Inter by 2 or more goals.
How Mkhitaryan starts for Inter is crazy. That guy should not be starting for a team like Inter.
Guys, I don't have an agenda. I celebrate the shit out of the Szoboszlai goal. I support Liverpool above everyone else. So. Yeah. If me saying we should create more is an agenda, then you're just listening with a preconceived notion.
Never a penalty, and Slot came for a draw, got a lucky win. You can tell he didn't want to lose this, and he knew it. It was curtains, but that's fair, isn't it? Because this is where I get confused. Just as an outsider. I see my manager get slagged off every week for not adjusting because things ain't working. We've seen Maresca criticised for it in the last few weeks. And Slot himself, it's got to change something, Slot. You got to change something. It isn't working. He changes it, and it's like he shouldn't have. He only changed it to save his job. What? So keep doing the thing that weren't fucking working. What are we doing here? It doesn't make sense. Like, Ray, I love you, bro. He was meant to. Going away from home to someone like Inter Milan and being happy with a point is not a bad sign. The greatest managers of all time have done that on many occasions, and he went and got a result away from home at a very difficult place. Nothing but happy if it was my club, I'll tell you that now. Both teams were poor, but to be fair, Liverpool won their last 5 at the San Siro. Yeah. This is true. I've been getting battered by real fans for saying we got lucky today with the pen saving us and still saying Slot out. But I think it's fair to still say Slot out. I don't think it's not been a question of mine to anyone. Have you changed your mind? No, I said that right at the top of the show. Equally, you can want him out and still recognise that he's handled this week.
We didn't get battered though. Where's the getting battered thing about? Like, at the very least, Inter weren't better than us. Even if you were lucky.
No, we weren't.
So at the very least, a draw is a fair result. We definitely didn't get battered.
Yeah.
No, he's saying he got battered by real Liverpool fans because he said that they got lucky.
No, I'm gonna head out, guys.
Cheers,
to be honest with you, what I'm gonna tell you guys, Slot in. I hope that you guys build on this and Slot stays forever at Liverpool.
If that makes you feel better,
we'll see you in the final. We'll see you in the final.
See you guys.
I'll be there tomorrow with both mum and I've got some questions for Hassan tomorrow because I just got a feeling. I just get a little feeling deep down inside, which is I'll save it for tomorrow's straight fact show to make sure you're all back for that because I need to ask him some serious questions after that. Because again, definitely, I can't believe he doesn't think it's wrong what Salah did, considering he's always called it wrong when any other club's players have done it. But maybe it's the manager thing. I can't wait to speak to him tomorrow. But you won against Arsenal. Enzo, 3 games in a row. Bum. You man said he was the 3rd best midfielder behind Caicedo and James. Blame your coach. 3 defenders in midfield. When you have midfielders, is what Akin says here. I'm Salah's biggest fan. I have his kit and scarf on my kid's wall. Glad we won today and showed him no one is bigger than the club. He's a Liverpool legend, but this is about us playing better. Starting must be earned. 100%. 100%. Already done this one here about Maresca being spineless. Let's have a little look here. in case I missed a few things. But you can't expect Liverpool to go from loss to loss and expect us to suddenly create a huge number of chances away against Inter. This was a strong result. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Good result to take, man. It's a good result, man. It's like at the end of the day, look, I said what I said about Inter. Inter are a very good team, one of the best teams in Europe, let alone Italy. And getting a 1-0 win at the San Siro, given that we've been dog poo for the last couple of months, is a good result, man. It's just confidence, and again, it takes a lot of pressure off the club in general because of what's just happened. I'm just relieved. It's more relief than happiness that has happened.
And Razor United fans says, at United is different, mate. I know we'd be killed by the media for that performance, but you know what it is for me? What I don't do is play those games. I know how bad United have been. So if we've been for a bad run and then we went away to Inter Milan and we're really solid defensively and got ourselves a 1-0 win, I would praise that as a one-off game in that moment, in that scenario. So for me, yes, I know the mainstream media and rivals will still have a pop at us, but I don't play those games. I still say things as I see them. You won't always agree with my opinion, but I won't just, like for instance, Rob Sanchez earlier. A lot of people in the group chats are going at Rob Sanchez. Now, a lot of Chelsea fans come at me every time Donnarumma sneezes because they go, oh, you think he's better than Sanchez? I do. But I didn't play the game tonight with Rob Sanchez because I didn't really think it was his fault. I could have joined in with everybody and played that childish game, but I'm fucking 40 years old next week. Like, I'm just not doing it, mate. It's as simple as that. Elijah. Talk to me, bro, about your Chelsea team's performance tonight.
Oh, Terry, man. I'm just fuming right now. I really am. And Enzo Maresca, hang your head in fucking shame. Yeah? Hang your head in shame because you, Enzo Maresca, have been awful today. Your tactics and your subs are absolutely awful. At one time, yeah? Let me tell you something, Terry. I watched the second half and he brings on the subs. So I saw Caicedo playing as a right back and then Gusto playing in the 10. And then I saw Reece James there. And I'm thinking, why on earth are you putting midfielder as a right back and then a midfield defender into the midfield? It makes no sense. And then the stupid sub he did, Terry, he brings on Wesley Fofana, and then 30 minutes later, he takes him off and brings on Tosin, and we can see this straight away. Like, it's an absolute joke. And I'm sorry. Like, we're supposed to win this game. But many people have been telling me, oh, you missed Caicedo. Oh, without Caicedo, you would have won this game. Well, guess what? Caicedo started this game, and we still lost. We have still lost this game. So I don't hear no excuses about Caicedo because he was awful today. He was awful. But not only him, Enzo Fernandez, another shocking performance from him. He had so many opportunities to score tonight and he just blazed it over. He didn't want to shoot. João Pedro, yes, he scored tonight, but he did nothing after that. Neto, shocking. Gave me Gittens, shocking. Everybody was shocking today. Josh Achapong, big him up here because he's the only player that defended really well, especially the first half. He locked up Lukman. He looked so good, you know. Defensively, in the first half, Terry, we were solid. It wasn't a great performance, but we were 1-0 up. But guess what? Instead of Enzo Maresca trying to win this game, he was scared. He's scared that we're going to probably lose. So what does he do? He brings on 3 defenders and 1 attacker. 3 defenders and 1 attacker. Like you're trying to win this game, and you think you bring on defenders is going to win us this game. Sorry, man, but Enzo Maresca, hang your head in shame because your game manager has been awful. 4 games about to win, Terry. 4 games. We got Everton next, you know. Just like I was not confident for the game against Bournemouth, I ain't confident in the game against Everton because they also play a back 3. You know David Moyes. They'll probably play a back 5 or back 3 like the way Atalanta did, and they'll probably just try and frustrate us. We have been absolutely awful. Like, where was Santos? Where was Estefan? Like, don't get me wrong, it would not change anything, but We need a goal, and you bring on the defender. So what was the point of bringing on Estevao for the last 10 minutes against Bournemouth if you didn't want to do that tonight? What is going on? And for goodness sake, man, this is where I go back to the directors of this club, because now Liam Delap is now injured. We stick João Pedro up top. For what? For what? I've been saying I wanted a proven striker. I wanted a proven centre-back. Because Wesley Fofana, even though he hasn't been injured this season, I bet he's going to get injured anytime soon. So does Badiashile as well. It just makes no sense. I'm just sick and tired of people calling me reactionary, say I need to back the club. You know, how can I back the club when I see this rubbish performance week in and week out? The last 4 games have been awful. Ever since we beat Barcelona, the Arsenal game, fair enough, we draw. But the Leeds game, awful. Bournemouth game, boring, dead. Tonight, even shocking. This was our opportunity to finish
Terry, can I
top
say
8,
one?
and
Can I
we
say one thing on
failed.
this?
Yeah, of course you can,
think-
Chez. It'd be good to
I
hear
think-
from
I
you
think-
on it.
I think. Wait, what did you say, Ram?
You're here. It's good to see you, bro. You've been quite quiet recently, bro.
Anyway, I was just gonna say, I think it's fair for Elijah to have his concerns because, of course, like Elijah's made it very clear that the ownership that people kind of back is not all like sunshine and rainbows, and there's a lot of criticism needed for the way they kind of go about things. But for me, the only thing I would say is I think you'd only be annoyed with the overall direction if you expected more. So what I mean by that is if you expected the club to be the team to be very consistent and the signings to be very experienced, you'd be very disappointed, wouldn't you? Whereas if you understand fully how the model's going and what they're trying to do, then you wouldn't expect us to be crap in 4 games in a row. I'm not going to go that far, but you would expect inconsistencies when you sign players like Garnacho, Gittens, Neto, who aren't top class players. Some of them are good potential, some of them are average potential. Depends on your preference. So the reason why I'm annoyed isn't necessarily because we drop points in these games. It's because of how we're dropping points. So that's why I agree with Elijah, where the managers made mistakes themselves in the subs and stuff like that. But I'm not going to go overboard and start bringing up the direction because I kind of know what they're going to do. Their model is to get young players. That's what they're going to do. And the thing is, this is the thing in business in life. Like I've learned, I'm still young, but I'm still learning this. Is when things in models and projects and your own life is going on, and it doesn't go the way you want it to in the moment. It's very easy to retrospect and go, "Why did I do that? Why did I do this?" Until you get somewhere. A lot of successful people always say one line. They say the best part of the journey is the come up. It's not even when you get there, because during the come up, things like this happen where you lose 4 games or you don't win in 4, and then you might go win the next 5, and all of a sudden Chelsea are back again. Which is why when people ask me a question like Chelsea in the title race, I never really gave an answer because there wasn't really an answer to give. We were there until we're not, and now we're not. We're now ironically getting cuts for not being in it. And if we were to go win our next 5 games, for example, people would then be asking me, "You back in the title race again?" I think the point is, overall, what I'm trying to say is, I think Chelsea are underperforming slightly. I would agree, but I don't think it's as drastic as people are making out. Unless you expect us to be title challenging, winning game out. And if that's the case, then I'm surprised there's negativity in summer from Chelsea fans and rival fans because it was a perfect window if that was the case, right? But obviously it wasn't. That's why I'm not overly surprised. I'm just more annoyed that he's doing things like Gusto in the 10. Enzo's playing poorly. He needs to be dropped. I don't really care if he's one of our highest paid players. He's been playing crap the last month or so. So he needs to be out the team regardless of how I feel about it. He just needs to be. And I have to look at the overall team. I think when Quest, Elijah and Andrew agree, I think when Chelsea lose games, it's very easy to scapegoat the players we don't like. So as soon as Chelsea lose a game, I hear Delap, Garnacho, Neto. No one mentions the overall team. Cancelo played poorly today. Enzo, like I said just prior, poor. The overall build-up is poor. The defense is not terrible, but again, mistakes here and there. But as soon as we lose a game, I hear the same scapegoats. For example, I think we lost the other day, and then someone mentioned to me, how did Garnacho do against Bournemouth? I was like, he's there for 15 minutes and created a chance for Palmer. That's why I get a bit annoyed when the project conversation keeps coming up, because when people want to use it to hit the stick, it's very easy to mention the players that don't do well. Then when we do well, it's propelling us to title challenging and winning every single trophy. I just think I predicted us to finish third. I didn't put my prediction. I said third in the league. I still think we're on track to do that. But I am a bit disappointed that we're not like the performances aren't matching up from last season. Because the end of last season, like Terry said, we dropped our line. We were a bit more defensive. During the Club World Cup, it was a good balance. Start of the season was poor, and then we got into our groove. I'm a bit annoyed, in my opinion, for me, that we've kind of reverted back to the last season where people get tired, the fatigue kicks in, the manager kind of bottles it, but the pressure gets to him. He thinks maybe we can push it, and then the team goes crumbling down. That's what I'm annoyed at. I'm not really annoyed about the overall picture, because to end off my soliloquy, Chelsea's actually improved every single season since they've started this model. So I can't really call them out yet until I see the end of the season. If Chelsea finish fourth in the league, win the FA Cup, that's still progression, because you've now won a better trophy than the Club World Cup, apparently according to rivals, and the Conference League, right? So my only issue would be if we stagnate or regress, will they then change the model? Then I'll be on Elijah's page and be like, yo, we've stagnated, we haven't progressed at all. Then I'll call them out. That's just my opinion.
Look, I hear you. I think the reason why, though, people like yourself will get stick is because it was only 4 games ago that you came on and were calling everybody out. Don't talk about my club. We're this, we're that. Watch us go. So obviously, then when it goes wrong, you're going to get called out. Don obviously gets a lot of stick because in the last 3 weeks across socials, and we've all seen the clips from the Big Six, from a Chelsea channel he was on, second best squad in the league, second best attack, best midfield in the world, best fullbacks in the world, second best squad overall, this close to Arsenal. And then you go through these run of games and it's, well, can you break down what's gone wrong? And it's just the centre-backs, man. It's just Tostin and the centre-backs. And everybody looks at that and goes, wait, it can't, because Tostin didn't start 2 of the last 4 games, if that makes sense. It's more than that. And it's not about people cooking individuals. It's about asking for honest conversations. Whether you agree with someone's opinion or not, it's about having honest conversations. And I think that's where people sometimes come for Chelsea, is that it's fine that somebody thinks Chelsea are that good. I've got no problem with it. But you can't then move the goalpost when it goes wrong and say, oh, it's Tossin's fault, or it's one little mistake the manager made. It's more than that, isn't it?
To be fair, on the Tossin thing, because you mentioned it 3 to 4 times, he's an extreme, because we can all objectively look at it and go, he literally made 2-3 mistakes. So when you have outliers like Tossin passing back to your opposition, we can isolate, not a defeat, but big mistakes on the individual. That's why they're called unforced errors. But what I'm going to say on the overall point you made in response is that I only came on against Arsenal to respond to people who were talking the most before the game. So I was more talking about, at that point, Terry, I think we were 6 points behind them. We had a red card for 70 minutes. And at that moment, we wasn't having these conversations we're having now. And that's why hindsight's a lucrative commodity, right? Because you can see the future and talk about it. But at that moment, I came on and said, if Arsenal were this, this, and this, why couldn't they beat 10-men Chelsea for 70 minutes? By the way, after that, they went on to lose another game. So my points I made there on Arsenal were still right, because they didn't win us.
But they extended the lead over you to from 6 points to 8 points in that time. So in terms of the Chelsea,
whether I'm the
in terms of the Chelsea versus, and that's fine. But this is my point. You kind of get very defensive when things are being called out, but then you go around calling people out.
I'm not defensive about people calling me out. I don't mind that.
No,
it's part
you get
of the game.
You came on to defend Chelsea in your stance. That's fine.
I came on to talk about the game, an overall project, on what Elijah said. I thought Elijah made good points.
I know. I was talking about after the Arsenal game.
No, the Arsenal game, I was listening to obviously content and stuff. So I came on that specific game to talk about people on the terrace, for example, because there's not really much Chelsea during the week, which is fair enough. They were talking very confidently before the game. And then after the game, I heard a lot of excuses. That's what I was more calling out. But Terry, you explained on that show that not a lot of them said that. Fair enough.
I think, Ches, it's fine. Listen, I can understand if you like this type of model, that's absolutely fine. I think it could have been done a hell of a lot better than what it's done right now. Seeing as what other,
but Andrew, you know I know that's true, though.
Hang on, see what other clubs have bought and the players that they bought, and we were in the same market as them. We could have bought a hell of a lot better. And this internal, when our media reports that internal whatever matters process is better, is absolute rubbish, because internally some of these players aren't good enough, and we're seeing it right now. We're not seeing crazy brave. We're seeing phony tough players at this moment. And to me, what makes it worse? And I accused them under Poch. It happened under Poch. any adversity, the heads went down. And I'm seeing it in the last few games, the heads go down. And that's a problem. And we have to admit, some of those signings have been great, have been good, and will be good. But for some of them, especially in the defence, have been absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking and average. I don't think, as a collective, our centre-backs are even in the top 10 in this league.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. Andrew, you're going too far there.
Come on, bro.
No. Like, come on, Ches. Do you honestly think
Crystal
that
Palace
Tosin, Badishu, even Chalobah are good enough to take us to the title challenge? Are you crazy?
No, but no.
Elijah.
Come on.
He asked me a question. I'll let you land, Chris. He referenced to me. Andrew's point was top 10. You've now mentioned a title challenge. We're going to extremes.
Yeah,
if you're telling me,
you know my thoughts. I never thought we're in a title.
Andrew, we speak every day. I know your thoughts, but I'm going to Elijah. I don't think they're worse than top 10. I don't think they're title challenge. I think they're somewhere in the middle.
I think if we had more time, I think if we had more time, I think I could lay out a very good argument why they're not even good enough to be in the top 10.
Injury prone wise, I agree. Go on,
I think that's crazy. Yeah, do you know why I think it's crazy? Because currently in the league, we're the fourth. We're the team with the fourth least amount of goals conceded.
And that's why Maresca should get credit, because he's working with this. He should get credit.
Because I don't think what you're saying is crazy to say that we haven't signed like the best of the best yet. But that's also part of the risk of this model is you sign a bunch of players, you see how it goes. And the whole point was over a period of time, the ones that are the cream that will rise above will prove themselves. So for me, I think it's clear who are the ones that are proving themselves already.
No,
whether Enzo Fernandez has had a bad run of games or not, he's part of the cream that's rising to the top.
That's what I'm just mainly focused on the centre backs though. The centre backs though, we are seeing the cream is not rising to the top.
But do you know what
the sludge at the bottom,
right?
That's rotting away. And
but do you know what the difference is? Remember, I said this early in the season. When we've played a consistent 2, we've not struggled. Ironically, even though Tosin didn't start this game, he comes on and we immediately look worse. Yeah. That's also coupled with the fact that Chalobah went off. So you've got Chalobah and Badiashile who worked really well together. You've got a Chempong and Chalobah that worked really well together. And you've got Chalobah and Colwell that work really well together. The ones that are the problem here are your Tosins, and to be fair, to a degree, your Fofanas, who as a defensive centre back, right? Like, so his job to actually defend when he's in the box, he's not that great at.
No,
I think I remember the one game he came on and we conceded immediately.
Sorry, tonight.
So I hear what you're saying. The only thing I'm trying to prevent here is, and I can't stop anybody from doing what they want to do. But I'm like, boys, we've lost 4 games. Let's not turn into what made Arsenal fans what they are today.
Oh no,
don't need to do scorched earth, and we don't need to act like our club is in the mud. We're not in the mud.
Listen. This is a wake up call. This was the from the Leeds game. It's a wake up call.
Hey, question. Speaking my language,
all those people that got excited over the draw, it was a massive wake up call. And this is, but what we're seeing is that
Andrew, do you not think we were right to be excited about the Arsenal draw?
The biggest question is where I don't go about the young team anymore. Is these players are old enough at the back. One of them needs to take control, and none of them is doing it at the back. The age is no excuse for those centre backs anymore. They're like 24, 25 plus. Do you know what I mean? Apart from Attenborough, there's no excuses for one of them to step up. Well, Colwell's not there, so can't count Colwell. So, but there's no excuse for one of them to step up and lead. That's the whole point.
I agree.
And none of them are.
I agree.
They want to be the beta centre back, not the alpha centre back. All of them want to be led. They don't want to be the John Terry. They want to be, and this sounds harsh, but I don't mean it. You know, like whoever's beside, like a David Luiz, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? They want to be that player.
Yeah.
They don't want to lead, and that's my problem. And they'll be the first to go down. And you can't do anything if your defence is like that. So no matter how good you're attacking your midfielders, if they're not bailing you out, and your defence is like that. I mean, everyone's like, I know what you said, Terry, about you blaming Cucurella for both those goals. Fofana's at fault for that equaliser. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
I also
and Sanchez, to be fair.
I spoke, in fairness, I spoke about both. I said that Fofana, maybe Achimpong, both, like they just, between them, that Skamaka being that free in the middle. But you know, I hear you. I all I said about Cucurella is I felt for both your goals he backed off too much when he should have put some when he put some pressure on. Yeah, no, I agree.
For his high standards, the way I praise him,
Yeah.
he has been awful.
But I certainly mentioned Fofana as well.
Yeah, Chris.
It's fatigue. It's mental and physical fatigue.
Oh my God.
Chris,
everyone. That's no, because everyone has that.
Right, but Ram, hold on.
Because we all play the same amount of games. We all have the same.
Ram, I want to let Quest land. I want to let Quest land. I want to ask this question before he lands.
Because Ram, what I'm not doing is trying to create an excuse. Hold on, Ches. Let me just say this.
Yeah, go on. I want to ask you a question.
What I'm not trying to do is create an excuse. Everyone in the summer, and I actually didn't afford us this. Everyone in the summer said the Club World Cup is going to catch up. I said, nah. I don't think that's an excuse at all because we've got the depth to cover. Unfortunately, a couple of things happen. Now you're starting to see a predictable December slump where fatigue is setting in. And Maresca's starting to talk about it a lot more in his press conferences. He even said today, we're playing every 2 days. And it's not like we're playing, as people have rightly called out with the Conference League, we're not playing opposition where we can rotate the entire squad at once. You're playing middle to top tier opposition every week. So that's going to have an effect. You're running differently. You're controlling games differently. It's a completely different set. And anyway, when I say fatigue, I'm not trying to say that's an excuse for Chelsea to have these performances. But also, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to take anything away from that Arsenal draw and say because we lost to Leeds and drew to Bournemouth, that we shouldn't have celebrated what we did against Arsenal. What we did against Arsenal was...
There is a question, but the question...
No, there's no question mark. There is zero question mark, Ram. No, there's absolutely no question mark.
That a lot of rivals have for your team is that when it comes to the big games, when it comes to the big crunch games, the Barcelonas, the Chelseas, the Liverpools, you guys rise to the occasion.
So imagine what the narrative would be.
I.e. the likes of Atalanta,
we're not doing this.
Where is that mentality?
No, we're not
all good beating the top 6 teams. But there are 40 other teams in the league that you have to beat in order to high up in the Premier League.
Listen, because if it was the other way round, the criticism of Chelsea would be, hey, it's a great team. They seem to be beating who they should be beating, but against the top 6, they just seem like they're not ready to push for a title. It'd be the same thing. It'd be the exact.
It still comes back down to a mentality thing.
The issue is right now is just a lack of consistency.
I got one question.
Yeah, very quickly because I've got 2 super chats and then I've got to get myself off the bed because I am feeling rough as fuck. So guys, make your last point. Thank you.
The question I have is, these are my questions on the side here. Because I'll let you land on this because I've asked those people and no one's giving me a logical answer. Because I'm trying to discredit the Arsenal draw. How does Chelsea go from the Arsenal draw to Leeds away? Quest, no one's giving me a logical answer yet, a whole week. And all I've been hearing is, are you inconsistent? How do you go from a 7 to a 1
Spurs away.
Mentality.
Spurs away. And
because we don't have the squad to
mentality. So you go from Arsenal to Leeds. It's not turn up.
We don't have the quality.
Because I can relate to this a lot more because I've seen my team do this for the last 20, 25 years. When it came to the Uniteds, when it came to the Cities, when it came to the Arsenals, those players, some of the mediocre players would rise to the occasion and give them a good game. I've seen it before. But when it came to the likes of, because we beat, I think we drew against Manchester United. We played them off the park in 2012, and then we lost 4-0 to Fulham at home. Because I've seen it before. It's a mentality issue. It is. Because when it comes to the big games, when the cameras are on you, and when you're having to play against a big team, people want to rise. People want to make a name.
It's a combination. I do give you the mentality element. It's there, which is exactly what Nina said was correct on Sky. More worried about Burnley's than Arsenal's. It's also the squad probably isn't as good as everybody thinks it is. And thirdly, for that Leeds game, you had Fofana and Reece James out, Caicedo suspended, and then rotated out 2 or 3 other first teamers, Neto, Gusto, and you made your team 2 weeks. So it's all 3 things at the exact same time. That's what it is. Liverpool in the 90s, especially in that period, yes, it was mentality. But it was also you had players like Stig Bjørneby playing for you. You bought shit. And that didn't help. Sorry, this here says, Ches, where was this narrative last month? You were Arsenal's peers, challengers for the title, world-class players. Now you manage expectations, you fraud.
I said we finished third in the league. What does that have to do with your super chat?
But thank you
Come on,
for
man.
sending
Let's
it
be
over.
critical thinking, people. It's important.
You did say your title challenges as well.
Chelsea currently have 5 Rob Holdings and Zinchenko starting in the 11 every week. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far, personally. But look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into the show tonight. This is going to redirect you to MHF, so go and support the boys over there. I'm back in the morning with Killing the Game. We have Straight Facts in the afternoon with Husam and Mo, and then again Champions League reaction in the evening. Congrats to both Liverpool and Tottenham for their victories tonight. Commiserations to Chelsea. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you soon. Peace.